parents' hearts. What does that mean? What does it mean when you say to somebody, I love you with all my heart? What does that mean? It's not really, you're going to give them your whole heart. What it is, when we talked about this last summer, your heart is the root, it is the source of your passion. It's the source of everything that you value. Okay? That you are going to love someone with your heart. So we're supposed to make our passion, that our heart should be imprinted with God's guidelines, with God's plan. Everybody got a heart? Alright? Okay, now I want you to give it to your mom or dad or whoever brought you here. Give it to them. Thank you. Okay, then it says, parents, impress these things upon your children. Do it, but gently. But you didn't get any play. What do? We have to transfer these things that we love. Transfer the things that we have passion about. We pass on football teams, we pass on sports, we pass on hobbies. If these things are imprinted on our hearts, it'll be easy for us to impress them upon the hearts of our children. Life is at hyperspeed. I have a child at my home who is ready to drive an automobile. Oh my. No, it was 2 years ago I brought her home from the hospital. What happened? And those of us that have kids that are at that transition time of life, whether they're going into middle school or graduating high school, whatever it is, it's like, where did the time go? Because in America, we live fast and furious. 3. Life is fast. Very, very fast. So how are we going to do these things for our kids? Well, the Bible gives us some ideas. Talk about it when you sit at home. Alright? So kids, make a house. Make a house. Just make a house. Don't argue with me. Make a house. Make a house. Here's the point. If I go to my family reunion and I walk in, within a few minutes, we're talking about the same old stuff we always talk about. Because that's just what families talk about. And at my house, it's church, sports, or politics. Okay? Now the problem with, not at my home where I live here, but I'm talking about my extended family. And so, the problem is, we don't get along, agree on sports. Not everybody in my extended family is as connected to church. And not everybody sees things politically the same. So, I usually find myself out on the porch having some sweet tea. But I was raised in an environment where I know what my family feels about certain things. Okay? And one of the things that we can do is, when we're sitting around the house, talk about God, talk about the church, talk about our love for the Bible. One of the things that we miss is an opportunity to impact people in our family who don't know Christ by talking about everything else but that. Oh, well, we don't want to offend them. We don't want to, well, you might want to, otherwise they may never hear. Just bring it up. Let me tell you what I'm learning in church. Let me tell you about what we're doing. Let me tell you what's going on at my church. Let me tell you about something I read in the Bible this week. Let me tell you about this new song I found. Anything. Find a way to talk about it. Because we talk about everything else. Okay, there's a house, sort of. Okay, looks more like a gnome. Alright? How about when we talk about it when we're on the road? How do we do this? Kids, I need you to make a road look sort of like that. Okay? How do we talk about it when we're on the road? Easiest way, the CD player. Remember when your kids were real little, you could throw in anything, and they would sing along, they'd sing those silly songs, like all of that silly stuff, right? It's a great way to talk about it when you're on the road. I was alive before there were DVD players in cars. That has made travel so much easier for parents. Back in the day, man, you had to strap kids in and keep feeding them and stuffing chicken McNuggets and McDonald's fries down them to keep them quiet. And all you wished and prayed was that they would go to sleep. That's all. Now, when your kids say, Daddy, how much farther is it? 2 more movies. We don't even mention how many miles or hours it is. It's how many Disney films before we're going to be to Grandma's house. Okay? But there are ways to talk about things of the Lord while we're riding in the car. They're not getting out. You talk about what you want. They're going to listen, and they'll hear you, or you and your spouse, or you and your friends. They hear it, they pick up on what you're talking about. My friend, his name is Joe, was sitting at a red light, and his 3-year-old from the back seat in the car seat yells, "Would you go already?" Where do you think he heard that? From his father. Okay? So what the idea is that the kids pick up on what we talk about. And when we're sitting around the house or riding in the car, that's casual conversation. And casual conversation comes from things that are important. And they know that. They learn that. Use the time in the car to talk to them about the Lord. What'd you learn in children's church today? What'd you learn from the lesson? What'd you get from the clay? Don't eat your clay. Whatever you want to say. But use the time in the car. How about when you lay down? This was one we all did when we were kids. Now you can make a bed or a pillow out of your clay. What did your mother and father do to you? Those of us that are older, what did we do? We sat down, we had a Bible story, Mom and Daddy said prayers with us, and we went to sleep. Okay, and we prayed that really scary prayer. Now I lay me down to sleep. But if I don't wake, you know, okay? But the idea is, the last thing they remember before they go to sleep was that they were talking to Jesus. That's the idea. Okay, that wasn't something that, you know, that some Christian publishing company came up with. That was God's idea way back in Deuteronomy. Talk about it right before they go to sleep. Give them something to dream about. And I want to say something to the young people who are here. I mean young, I mean like under, if you're in high school or under. I didn't ask you to raise your hand. Okay, I want you to listen to me. You guys read every other book. You read every other adventure. You ain't read no adventure like what's in the Bible about real things that have happened. My point is that all this, you know, and I come from a family of readers, but there are stories in the Bible that are true that you do not have any idea are even in there because you haven't read the book. And I challenge you to put every other book aside until you've read the Bible from front to back. I challenge you to do that. It will take you 80 hours, that's all, to read the entire Bible. And it's an amazing story. There are stories in there of romance. There's stories in there of danger. There's stories of big, bad, mean people. Okay? All the stuff that you're reading, all that stuff can be found in the Word of God, except the difference is the Bible's true. And all the other stuff is called fiction for a reason, because it isn't real. Okay? Spend some time and learn the Word of God. What about when they wake up? Nowadays, it's a race to get out the door. Got school to get to, got a bowl of cereal and a Pop-Tart if you're lucky and a glass of juice, and we send you on your way. Make the sun shine. Make the sun. Very nice. Okay? What do we do? First thing when they get up in the morning, good morning. And we have an opportunity there to imprint them for the day. And I don't know about at your house, but some days I wake up, and I don't care what anybody says, I'm not in a good frame of mind. And if I'm not careful, I can set off everybody into that same mindset. We talked about this in the relationship series. Some people are thermostats, and some people are barometers. Some people set the temperature, and other people respond to the pressure. Okay? And if you're not careful, you can send your kids out the door all upset when there's nothing that was their problem. Spend time. Pray with them before they leave. Pray for them when they leave. Okay? That's how you can start their day off that way. Tie them as a symbol upon your hand. That would be a bracelet. Okay, so roll it, make it long and skinny, and make a bracelet like that. Now I want you to think about this. If I had a bracelet on right here, it would remind me of something, correct? Every time I looked at it. WWJD. Okay? Okay? And so that's the idea, is that every time I see it, I remember a decision or a commitment that I made. Is there anything else, children, anything else your mom and dad wear that reminds them of a commitment?
Wedding ring.
Yeah, a wedding ring. Same thing. Okay? So, bind them around your children as a bracelet. How many of you remember in the 70s we had these ID bracelets that they made? Remember that? You got your initials on it and your girlfriend or boyfriend gave you one, right? I got one from a particular young lady, and my dad didn't want me to wear it because he didn't think it was appropriate for me to wear it. That was okay, so I didn't wear it. But then, a couple of years later, I wanted to wear it, but the girl wasn't around no more. So I turned it over, and I did what you did. I tried to scratch her name off that thing. Because I didn't want my new girlfriend to see the old girl's name on the bracelet. Okay? So I started with a knife. And I just thought I'd just, scribble it out, but that didn't work. So I ended up with, ultimately, I tried some sandpaper.